Hello, Back to Basics. It's Dana, Miss Dangerous, and I'm your vlogger for today. Apologies, I'm going to do this in the car driving. I have to be somewhere in a few minutes. I know this probably disturbs some folks, but I promise you the drive is not complex and there's not a lot of traffic. So, today we were asked to do a response kind of video to Sarah Nerd and Organ's talk about her goal. And there were really two aspects, questions we were asked to respond to. One was about, what is goal? And for Sarah, she kind of came to this realization that goal wasn't a number of a scale. It was a goal was, I think, defeating kind of her misery that she had started out with, why she had surgery. And the second part is about, are you using selfishness? I don't want to do things because it would be selfishness as kind of a sacrifice instead of just being courageous and stepping out. So I'm going to do the first part. Goal. For some people, I do think that goal is just the number on the scale. But I think for many, many, many folks it's not, and it shouldn't be. But we get hung up on it. And, my own experience is different than everybody else's or many people's. We're all different, but mine is different in the fact that I never had a number on a scale that I really was striving for. When I went into my surgeon's office, they said, well, what do you think? And I said, gosh, the smallest I'd ever been was as an adult was 175. When they showed me the BMI charts, I went, no way in hell do I think that's ever attainable? And I didn't want to set myself up for failure. So I just said, I'm going to set 175 and then I'll see what happens after that. I hadn't been like some people who had been skinny in their past and had a magic number set in their head. And I didn't really have an ideal weight number because I know that I'd say I had more of a body type I wanted to look at, but I knew that there were differences in weight and to still have a similar looking body. So for me, probably about 14 months out from surgery, I hit my 175. Maybe even, not 14 months, about 10 months out from surgery. I hit 175, and I don't know if that's exactly it, but I think it was right around there. And I hit 175, and I went, hey, I'm just going to keep following the rules, and I'll see what happens. And by then I had lost a lot of my misery, I will have to say, so could I have called goal and stopped? I actually called and said I hit my first goal. I called it then. But I just kept letting my body go to the weight I'm at today. And so for me, I don't know. I don't feel like I was stuck on that number in a scale. I had already shed a lot of my misery by, months and months out. And so I could have said, hey, I'm going to call goal earlier. Yeah, could have probably. I do see some people, and my heart goes out to those folks that have this number on a scale that eludes them. And I do see the point that perhaps for those folks, it can be, let the number go and look and think about, why did you really have this surgery? Was it to get rid of some of the health conditions, to change your outlook on life, to free yourself in your body? And if those were the reasons that you had surgery, then for sure call goal before you, don't let that number hang you up. The second part is about, do I use selfishness, or this idea of I don't want to be selfish and make changes. really as an excuse just because I don't want to be courageous, or because I'm not being courageous to really make the radical changes in my life. No, for me, this has not been the case. I'll give you a little perspective, though. It probably could have been at one point in my life. I am an empty nester. I'm married. My husband and I are the only ones at home. My father-in-law is living with us now temporarily, but my kids are grown and out of the house. My daughter left the house 7 years ago. You know, for the past 7 years, it's just been my husband and I, and so I did not have to think about the kids, you know, and all the things that I need to do to keep kids active and in school and healthy. It's just been my husband and I, and I am pretty selfish. I always have been. I'll tell you that in many ways. If there's something I really want to do, I do it. If I want to make a career change, I do it. I've done some risky moves. You know, if I want to go somewhere, I go, whether he does it or not. If I, you know, I'm going to go work out 5 days a week, I'm going to go work out 5 days a week. It wasn't selfishness. It may have been apathy and in some other areas, but I never used the excuse about, well, I need to put someone else's needs before my own. So that's just me. I understand that is a feeling that some people can have, where you put your other people's needs way above your own on a consistent, regular basis. Do I sometimes put people's needs above my own? Sure, because we all do that sometimes. But I have never felt like, well, I can't do something that I want to do because it would be selfish of me, and I must only think about those other people's needs. So I think it was a great revelation. I did love, for Sarah, I did love her video. I think, you know, everyone has their own unique perspective and their own personal journey that got them to being, you know, obese and morbidly obese, and got you to the point where you ever felt like you need to have weight loss surgery to begin with. And everybody has their own unique kind of demons that they have to struggle with as they're recovering from the disease of obesity or apathy or whatever else is the really root cause. So that's it. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Pray for me and my family. My father-in-law's in the hospital, some serious stuff, and the last few days have been rough on everybody. So if you pray, please pray. If you don't pray, just please send warm thoughts my way. And I'll talk to you next week on Back to Basics. Bye-bye.